On November 13, 2016, a Pentagon staffer powers up his computer to discover 47 unanswered calls. His Defense Department email has gone viral on Twitter, tied to the handle "Married but Curious." His top secret access, his home life, his whole professional path, all tumbling into chaos. And he's far from the only victim. A staggering 412 million user profiles just got laid bare. In Phoenix, an elementary school educator slips away without a trace, leaving behind a note of resignation for the school head. A well-known TV personality steps forward with a raw admission and fades from public view. Lawmakers, executives, performers, everyone's secret spilling out. What turned the planet's top adult platform into the most catastrophic data fiasco ever? And how could a firm already stung by one breach leave itself so vulnerable for another round? FriendFinder Networks, operators of Adult FriendFinder, had glimpsed the storm ahead. Back in May 2015, fully a year prior to the massive leak, they'd suffered an initial intrusion. That one snagged just 4 million records, a ripple beside the flood that followed. Still, it rang plenty of alarms. The pilfered info from 2015 laid open subscribers' emails, handles, IP addresses, birthdays, postal codes, plus personal revelations such as their romantic inclinations, and if they were hunting for affairs outside commitment. That's right, affairs. Adult FriendFinder went beyond casual encounters for the unattached. It drew in folks of all statuses, chasing discreet thrills, vows, or no vows. Yet the real jaw-dropper isn't that. It's FriendFinder's follow-up, or total lack of it. Any sensible outfit would have freaked out. Beef up defenses, bring in pros, overhaul the works, not FriendFinder. They tossed on a quick fix and moved along. Their message to members? We take security seriously. Those words soured faster than milk under a desert sun. What they kept hidden was this: the 2015 incident wasn't merely a break-in. It served as a teaser. The intruder had unearthed a vulnerability hidden in their programming, a glitch so simple, so beginner-level, that a novice coder could crack it wide. FriendFinder. They ignored it entirely. Picture this. You're wed, feeling restless one evening. You sign up on Adult FriendFinder, maybe just peek around swearing it's harmless. Then you wipe the profile next day. Safe now, yeah? Nope. Countless users had no clue that hitting __2 underscore did zilch for real. FriendFinder merely tacked __3_ onto your address and claimed it gone. Your data lingered, your tastes etched in stone. That erasure, pure fiction, one destined to wreck fates, even end them. Soon after, Ashley Madison, the notorious affair hub, fell to hackers too. We covered that story in a full video. Bet you'd dig it. The fallout? Tragedies like self-harm, broken unions, global media storms. Logically, every intimacy site worldwide would have rushed to fortify. FriendFinder should have wised up, but nope. Leaked records later showed their login safeguards were ancient. Countless passwords kept in raw, unscrambled form. Not all, sure, but a chunk, millions left exposed. Even worse, they standardized everything to lowercase. By fall 2016, FriendFinder boasted 412 million signups. 2 decades worth of hidden truths. Troops on .mil domains, officials with .gov tags, educators, clergy, the guy next door leading youth sports, all banking on an outfit too sloppy to erase profiles right. But the real chiller, if that early hit was only a heads up, who primed the big gun? And why hold off precisely 17 months to unleash it? Fast forward to October 18, 2016. A young security analyst in his early 20s hunts for a single exploit, LFI, shorthand for local file inclusion. In hacking circles, it's like the master key, a direct path to a site's guarded documents, ones holding the intimate worlds of 412 million souls. This analyst calls himself Revolver. His true identity and whereabouts stay mysteries, though his drive doesn't. Revolver defies the hacker stereotype. No shadowy online alias, no rap sheet. Just a young guy with a machine and a social media handle. Yet over the coming 3 days, he'll emerge as the savior or scourge in the grandest info heist on record. He can't predict his role. This is the sequence. Revolver stumbles on the LFI weak spot purely by chance, while probing adult friend finder's barriers as he'd done endlessly on various platforms. Abruptly, his display floods with forbidden info. Member folders, setup docs, the locked-away trove no outsider should access. Your average intruder would have zipped it up quietly, pocketed the haul, and flipped it for a fortune. Revolver breaks the mold. He captures proof of the flaw and blasts it out via tweet, straight to adult friend finder, for all their 50,000 fans to witness. Friend finder fires back just 4 hours later. Problem sorted, 0 customer info lost. They broadcast to their 50,000 followers that the fix is in. Yet, download records would eventually reveal the unbelievable. An outsider had pulled the full database at 11:49 p.m., 3 minutes prior to Revolver's tweet. How does one pilfer data before the flaw even surfaces? As Revolver fired off alerts on Twitter, another figure lurked in the shadows. A guy known as Peace, a moniker soon to ring with dark irony. Peace couldn't care less about alerts or ethical hacking principles. He's peddled stolen info from LinkedIn, MySpace, Tumblr, and countless other platforms. His tally of victims? A staggering 800 million. Now Peace has struck a fresh jackpot. The sequence of events matters here, so listen closely. Revolver spots the flaw at 11:47 p.m. on October 18th. He posts about it at 11:52 p.m. Friend finder patches it by 3:51 a.m. the next day, October 19th. But Peace? He slipped in by 11:49 p.m. 2 minutes post-discovery, 3 before the tweet. How could that happen? Simple. It couldn't, unless Peace had been embedded for a while, observing, biding his time, and letting Revolver serve as his smokescreen. Picture yourself as Peace. You've known about this weak spot for weeks, perhaps months, but exploiting it risks detection. Then, out of nowhere, this young researcher Revolver uncovers it on his own and blasts it online. Ideal fall guy, flawless moment, flawless heist. Fast forward to October 19th, 2:45 a.m. Frustrated by friend finder's brush-off, Revolver drops his notorious tweet. No word from adult friend finder. They'll label it a fake once more, and I'll expose it all. Except Revolver lacks the full haul. He's got evidence of the whole. Snippets of data, images, nothing more. The true prize, those 412 million profiles, vanished long ago. Funneled via 7 servers across 3 nations, scrambled, then auctioned on the dark web. What elevates this to brilliance? It's friend finder can't confess the actual intrusion without owning up to their deception. Revolver has zilch to spill. And Peace? He fades into the background, shielded by the uproar of 2 prominent voices clashing publicly. The cybersecurity world erupts. Discussion boards explode with theories, but the crowd's chasing the wrong lead. They're debating who breached friend finder, when the real puzzle is, _4, suppose Peace didn't grab it on October 18th? What if the ripoff occurred weeks before and that date merely marked their exposure? November 13th, 2016. As dawn breaks and America dozes, alerts ripple through global security boards. A leaker claims to hold the adult friend finder trove. 412,214,295 users. Let that figure hit home. It dwarfs the U.S. population. Imagine every acquaintance in your life, scaled up by thousands. Each profile harbors a buried secret its owner yearned to bury. But the count isn't the core tale. It's the frenzy in the ensuing 6 hours. Right after the reveal, a reporter spots the alert and dials their boss. Scale, massive, eclipsing Ashley Madison. By how much? Tenfold. Within an hour, sleuths uncover the email trove. 78,301 military addresses, from serving troops, vets, elite units, tied to handles like Seeking Thrills 69 or Wedded but Wandering. This detail chills to the bone. The passwords, nearly all, 99%, shattered in mere hours. Not due to hacker wizardry, but a single blunder from FriendFinder back in 2002. They standardized every password to lowercase. I love my wife 2016 morphed into I love my wife 2016. Crackable in 3 seconds flat, not 3 years. Why sabotage security on purpose? It ties to a support desk shortcut that saved them $578 million. These weren't clueless elders. They were folks dismissing it as merely a hookup platform. Security? Who bothers? Those attitudes are on the verge of a harsh lesson in consequences. Hours post-leak, the blackmail messages roll out. We know your alias. Send 0.5 Bitcoin, or your partner hears all. The crooks have merged the dump with Facebook, LinkedIn, even voter rolls. They possess your true identity, your partner's details, your children's schools. The note presses on, 72 hours max. But hold on, those 16 million wiped accounts? They're included. Users convinced they'd scrubbed their old indiscretions from 5, 10, 15 years back, now bombarded with reminders of ghosts they'd banished. Envision the awkward chat at home. Darling, I promise it predates us. I figured it was gone. Officials spot a nightmare in the mix. IP traces, login spots, location logs. Adversarial spies can now pinpoint which Defense Department staffers hit adult pages, including from classified bases, war zones, diplomatic outposts. This goes far beyond mere embarrassment. It's a full-blown national security disaster. Each of those 78,311 military email addresses has turned into a prime opportunity for extortion. Colonel Johnson, we've got the details on your adult friend finder profile. And now, let's talk about those troop deployments. 5 hours on, Friend Finder issues a brief statement, just 27 vague words. They're looking into possible security issues. Customers ought to change their passwords just in case. Privacy is a top priority for us, yet they refuse to disclose the breach's scope. They deny exposing deleted profiles. They ignore the fact that passwords were mishandled in storage. No regrets expressed. Simply, swap your passwords. As though that fixes anything once your private info is out there. By midday, the story explodes into the major news outlets. CNN, Fox, even the BBC. Your mother spots it scrolling on Facebook. Adult friend finder breached. 400 million records dumped. The coverage fixates on the juicy scandals, overlooking the core issue. This wasn't merely a cyber intrusion, it was the culmination of 2 decades of neglect. Later probes would uncover the ugly truth. Friend Finder was aware. They recognized their defenses were woefully inadequate. They understood that so-called deleted profiles lingered in the system. They realized passwords weren't secured properly. Emails from inside the company in 2013 captured tech staff pleading with executives to bolster protections. And the boss's reply? Too costly. How much? The needed fixes would have run about $3 million. The resulting legal battles from this fiasco, already topping $578 million and climbing. But the true toll defies any price tag. It's tallied in awkward silences over family meals, in deserted homes, in a 400% surge of calls to suicide prevention lines that week. What unfolds when 412 million hidden indiscretions burst into the open? And as the initial lives unravel, how many others will crumble in their wake? 3 days post-leak, Sarah Martinez, a third-grade educator in Phoenix, fails to appear at school. Her principal discovers a resignation note slid beneath the office door. No reasons given, no new contact info, simply vanished. She's far from the only one. Over the ensuing 6 months after the incident, more than 400,000 individuals abruptly quit jobs, wipe out their online profiles, or disappear entirely. The data spill sparks an unseen exodus. Folks abandoning existences that suddenly seemed too exposed. But the media overlooked a key escalation. The fallout only intensifies. Come December 2016, certain cybercriminals launch sites promising to verify if your partner strayed for $39.99 a search through the files, though half turn out to be frauds that pilfer your card details. The rest? They track every query and hit those users with shakedowns of their own. We saw you probing if your spouse was unfaithful. Fork over the cash, or we'll inform her about your doubts. By January 2017, matchmaking platforms begin screening against the exposed list. Tinder silently bans 2.3 million emails. Match.com purges 1.7 million. No public word on it, but if your address appeared in the Friend Finder dump, you're covertly shut out from much of the online romance scene. Then, in February 2017, the inaugural verified suicide tied straight to the event occurs. A Defense Department subcontractor, father of 2, wed for 15 years. He'd set up the profile back in 2008, prior to meeting his partner. None of that mattered. The contents of his goodbye message laid bare a nightmare. He'd barely touched it, just signed up, skimmed for 5 minutes, and bailed. Yet in the 2016 revelation, it painted him as a heavy hitter on the platform. March 2017 sees insurers discreetly snapping up the pilfered records, unofficially of course via intermediaries like data resellers. Out of nowhere, your life policy jumps 15%. Your medical coverage rejects that cutting-edge procedure. No explanations offered, none required. And the twist? Friend Finder's shares bounce back in under 8 weeks. By April 2017, they're back in the black. Fresh signups keep rolling in every day, because deep down, that's the grim side of humanity. Folks convince themselves lightning won't strike twice, even as they witness 412 million souls scorched. Litigation mounts. Class suits erupt across 27 states. Friend Finder's courtroom tactic? Stall, sidestep, and stonewall. Their attorneys contend that participants knowingly risked it all by signing onto an explicit platform. Picture that. Your confidentiality shattered, your world in ruins, and their rebuttal boils down to, quote, 10. In May 2017, a cybersecurity expert stumbles on a disturbing find. The October 2016 incident? Far from the finale, Friend Finder's been dribbling out info steadily, bits from various troves. That 412 million haul. Merely what piece snagged in a single sweep. The actual tally of compromised profiles could be twice as high, but the inquiry exposes an even graver flaw. Recall piece? The enigmatic intruder who faded into the ether? Probes uncover hints of his intrusions stretching to 2014, fully 2 years pre-initial exposure. Friend Finder had been steadily bleeding data for ages, either oblivious or indifferent. June 2017 brings congressional scrutiny. Friend Finder's chief executive appears remotely for testimony, insists they're sufferers as well, displays zero insight into how retaining erased profiles misled everyone. There's zero mention of the infamous all-lowercase password fiasco, just a bunch of polished corporate jargon and finger-pointing elsewhere. The senators, woefully out of their depth on tech matters, failed to probe with the sharp questions needed. In the end, the whole hearing fizzles out without any real impact. All the while, Revolver, the 20-year-old whiz who first spotted the vulnerability, vanishes into thin air, wiping his Twitter account clean and ghosting every online forum. It wouldn't be until later that investigators pieced together the reason. Just 3 days post-leak, a sleek black SUV rolled up, flashing federal credentials. No cuffs, but a stern warning to zip his lips. Even now, his true identity remains a total mystery. As for Peace, he's still out there, unbound and likely peddling stolen info on the side. The haul from the FriendFinder breach? Around $18 million in Bitcoin back in 2016, equivalent to billions today. Break it down, and it's roughly $4 for every 1,000 shattered lives. Bargain basement rates for peddling personal ruin. But the true kicker comes next. Recall how FriendFinder brushed off every red flag. The 2015 breach, the glaring security holes, the deleted profiles that lingered like ghosts. They weren't trailblazing in recklessness. They were straight up mimicking a prior offender's strategy. 12 months earlier, a different outfit repeated the exact same blunders. The hubris, the fabrications, the catastrophic fallout. Only their slogan dripped with even darker irony. Life is short, have an affair. Some 37 million folks handed over their most explosive confidential, their extramarital flings, to this outfit. Executives, public servants, stars of stage and screen, all convinced their fake handles and disposable emails shielded them. They were dead wrong. Once that trove hit the open web, it didn't stop at wrecking unions. It straight up cost people their lives. No exaggeration. Curious about how Ashley Madison laid the groundwork for FriendFinder's meltdown? How a simple motto got flipped into the death knell for countless relationships. Dive into my earlier vid, the hack that exposed 37 million cheaters.